Hello guys and welcome back to my Fate Grand Ordeal Call Prologue gameplay. I don't know what this is going to show, but I'm assuming this is like something like the prologue of for the Lost Spells that we had. If you remember, like quite a few years ago we had the Lost Spell prologue, that type of thing, I guess. Let's see, and maybe we'll get a few more questions about Olga Mari, maybe a few other things. Let's see. And also, what are you going to find in Antarctica? That question I think will be answered here. We're approaching the Antarctic Circle. Trismegistus predicts no danger today. That means we can relax and not worry about enemy interference, at least until we reach Chaldia base. Still, at least remain alert as we prepare for arrival. I can't believe we're finally going back to Chaldia base. First, there's something I would like to say. This is a separate matter from Chaldeus, which we now know to be a foreign planet. My analysis of test subject E is complete. Would you like to hear my report, Commander Godolph? Okay. Oh right, we still had that issue to deal with too. Frankly, I'm well past my limit for crazy revelations, but not hearing you out entirely certainly won't help matters. Very well, you may give your report. Get in with it then. Then I will begin with the data I was able to analyze. I can now confirm the mysterious laboratory our field agents Fujimaru, Mash and Kadok infiltrated was in fact a research facility that also existed in our world. Okay. As many know, there's a facility in Nevada's Area 51 dedicated to the clandestine study of UFOs and extraterrestrials. While our field agents were not able to verify the exact equipment used at the facility during their visit, Trismegistus II was able to use the data Marsh's Otinax recorded to confirm that the facility was a 99% match for Area 51. Okay, this means test subject E was being kept at a facility from proper human history. Yeah, that tracks. That place might have been in the middle of a huge singularity, but it was too out of place as a building. Yeah, it makes sense that the singularity spawned from that operating room. Yeah, and and I remember Moriarty taking us through this long white corridor or something like that whole part. Yeah, I agree. It also ties into our theory on who the master behind the singularity was. That is, the one who summoned a whole mess of servants, enthroned. The way I see it, that room was the only part of the singularity that belonged to proper human history, or at least it belonged to a celestial body that was as close to proper human history as it could possibly be. Okay. I might even go so far as to theorize that the facility itself was located in Chaldea's Nevada. Okay. You think that facility was inside Chaldea's? Yeah. Oh, Chaldea's is Nevada. Okay. Right, that's why she said like a celestial body that is similar to, proper human history. Where's that part? Or at least it belonged to a celestial body that's as close to proper human history as it possibly could be. Oh yeah, obviously Chaldeus is that celestial body, that foreign planet. So that, okay, so that that facility was inside of Chaldeus. Then is that why the corridor looked like it was in outer space? Because we were actually traveling between planets? Oh wow. Oh, okay. That would make sense. That is my guess, yes. Displacement magecraft is absolutely a thing. For example, let's say we have two Gordys here. Gordy A, Gordy B. Assuming they have the exact same composition and volume of data, displacement magecraft would let us swap them out instantly no matter how far apart they might be. Yeah, that actually makes sense, because it's literally of the same, same composition. You can kind of, how they say how mass or energy cannot be created or destroyed. None of that is really happening because it's like the same thing over in both sides. So you can just swap it with each other and everything will be just the same. There'll be no energy lost or gained, so everything will be fine. And the reason for that is, of course, because they're completely indistinguishable to a third party. Okay, only the Gaudis being displayed would know that they'd been swapped. Yeah, heck, in some circumstances, even they might be none the wiser. When something supernatural occurs without having a noticeable impact on the world, that's when you know Magecraft has done its job really well, yeah? Indeed, this particular kind of Magecraft is theoretically possible, but it will be exponentially more difficult on a larger target, okay? If memory serves, I believe I heard an old mage family unaffiliated with the clock tower was studying it. Also, please don't use me as an example from now on. The idea of waking up one day and having A or B appended to my name is the sort of thing that keeps me up at night. Displacement, swapping out. Wait a minute. So, could that have been what bleached Earth in an instant? Wait, how? What? You think Kalias' surface and Earth's surface were swapped out? No, but they should be indistinguishable, right? Like, our world had people in it and, like, life in it. So if it's swapped out like that, like Gaudi's example that they use, there's two indistinguishable Gaudi in two places, so nobody could oh, I guess that's why we. Alright, okay, that makes sense. That's why we can understand, because the change has been so different that it's like visible to our naked eye. We can literally see that the whole Earth is just bleached. And wait, so they're saying all the Earth's life is in Caldeus now? But that's what it would mean, right? Then why were we not displaced? But I don't know. Okay. Caldeus is obviously much smaller than Earth, but since it contains a copy of Earth's soul, that does essentially make it identical. Right. Oh, so that's how it makes it. Okay. Since Caldeus' volume of data and soul composition are the same as Earth's, their surfaces could well be swapped, regardless of the difference in size. Honestly, I was always more puzzled by how Earth was bleached than how it looked after the fact. Okay. Alright. I mean, it's not just possible to instantly destroy the entire civilization on a planet's surface without harming the planet itself. That is true. So you're saying if we were just swapping the planet's surface out for one that was already bleached, that would be a different story? Yeah, I see. Right, which would also mean that our world, the original Earth, is still safe and sound on Caldeus. Yeah, like I was saying, so all the life is over there. So if we can restore Caldeus' and Earth's relationship to the way it was, then your future will continue on the path it was meant to. Okay, interesting. So everything can go back to the way it was, huh? Human history can pick right up where it left off in 2019, where Earth was wiped clean. But hang on, Caldeus is supposed to be simulating Earth 100 years from now. Oh, wait a minute. And that would mean the lab we saw was from 2119. Okay. So, oh, interesting. So, okay, I see. So basically, Earth's surface was swapped. The bleached Earth, the whole, like, destruction of proper human history, that whole thing happened. Our Earth got bleached. The life that went to Caldeus is probably 100 years ahead of us. I don't know how that works, because like, how can that happen? Like, the Earth's surface got swapped. How did the time, like, how does that affect that? I have no idea. But I'm assuming, like, whatever happened in Area 51, Nevada, that happened in Caldeus. Since that is happening 100 years later, I'm assuming in our world, the foreign god, or whatever entity that was, a foreign god, she was probably supposed to come 100 years later. But in Caldeus, that happened now, because it's 100 years ahead, or I don't know. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Everything about that lab, including the technology, seemed identical to what we would expect to see in 2019. Oh, okay. So you are saying it's too old to be from 2119, right? I found that strange as well. Okay, so alright, that is a little bit of okay. I determined rather quickly that it was on Chaldeus, but it certainly did not look anything like cutting edge technology from 2119. Well, this is what I said, you know, like maybe it's because since the surface was swapped, our technology remained the same. It's not as if our technology will suddenly get a boost if it gets swapped to Chaldeus just because it's 100 years ahead. Like, think of it this way: our world is 2019. Our world's surface, Chaldeus is supposed to be simulating 100 years later. Our world's surface gets swapped. All life on our planet gets swapped to Chaldeus. Our planet gets bleached. So, all the life that was 2019 had 2019 technology on our world, it just got swapped to Chaldeus. That doesn't mean that technology will automatically get a boost. They are still using 2019 technology over there, even if it's simulating to 2119. Maybe it's something like that. And yet the data we have on test subject E clearly shows that it died a few days ago. Okay. Since the place it occupied was on Chaldea, that would mean it died in the year 2119. Oh no, but then this brings another question. Like, since Earth's surface was swapped, does that also mean that technically we were the ones who were doing the experiment on the test subject E, and that also got swapped to Chaldeus, and but the level of technology in that lab is the same as that of 2019. So the date on test subject E clearly shows that it died a few days ago. Since the place it occupied was on Chaldea, that would mean it died 20. Okay, but the level of technology was the same as. No, wait. Maybe, test subject E and that room was like there from the very beginning. Our our surface got swapped there, doesn't necessarily mean that maybe that room stayed the same, and only that room stayed the same. So that's why the technology is 2019, because our technology got swapped there, but the test subject E died in 2119, which remained as it was over there. I was for a time concerned that I would not be able to explain this discrepancy. Yeah, there you go. What if they weren't able to update the equipment there? Yeah, like I said, it got swapped. So the technology should be the same as it was here. Precisely, difficult as it may be to believe, because one wonders why something so ridiculous could happen. That is indeed what did happen. What? Difficult as it may be to believe, because one wonders why something so ridiculous could happen. Oh, okay. Given the gap of 100 years, the only sensible explanation is that the equipment could not be updated. Yeah, there you go. How can you expect them to suddenly update all their technology without, it doesn't matter if they're going 100 years, ahead. The technology still is the same because it got swapped. Huh? Is that even possible? Most likely, this is owed to extenuating circumstances of some kind. For example, they may have had a budget or personnel shortfalls. Oh my god. Right. In proper human history, Area 51's secret facility was shut down around 2001, okay? And their research budget was drastically reduced. Oh no, wait a minute. Shion is saying that only... No. So, okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding something. I'm thinking the whole technology of that planet is still the same as 2019. Maybe not. Maybe Shion is telling us that only the lab technology is 2019, and that's why she's explaining, because of the drastic thing, because Area 51 shut down, the research budget was cut down. That's why they weren't able to increase that technology. Maybe everything else is... You know what? Let's keep reading. I think we'll get to know little by little. And the research budget was drastically reduced. So the most likely explanation is that the same facility on Chaldeus ran into the same kind of trouble. Right. Well, that's definitely one possibility. Securing an adequate budget is one of the biggest and most important issues facing research efforts. But there's one big difference between the lab on Earth and the lab on Chaldeus, test subject E. The fact that an alien life form existed in the lab on Chaldeus, yeah, doesn't that mean we should have one here? Means that Chaldeus' version of Earth must have achieved something proper human history has. Okay, you can think of it in that way, true. Right. Means Chaldeus' version of Earth must have achieved something proper human history hasn't. Yeah, I was thinking, oh, maybe that means that we also had something like that. No, Da Vinci is actually saying the opposite. She's saying that maybe because they have something like that means they have been able to achieve something that is different from us. Okay. In which case, I'd expect there to be plenty of funds made available for this lab in the national budget. Which means there must have been some sort of trouble that need not detain us at the moment, so let us move on. The corpse you found in the operating room had the exact biological composition as us. Despite this, Trismegistus 2 did not recognize that corpse as a human from Earth. Okay. No, it's not that it did not, it could not. Even with the same data values, there was something different about it. And because of that error in logic, Trismegistus 2 was unable to come to a final conclusion on test subject E. Instead, it just got stuck on the phase when it labeled the object as human. So, once I set this conclusion aside and focused exclusively on analyzing the situation, a great deal of information became clear very quickly. Data point 1. Test subject E is a human from the version of Earth in Chaldeus. Right? Which I guess makes sense because our Olga Mari fell into Chaldeus, and so it's like, you know, as she's saying, is a human from the version of Earth in Chaldeus. Okay. Data point 2, if the bleached Earth phenomenon is actually Chaldeus' surface, then Chaldeus' humans have all died out. Yeah, that would make sense as well. Oh wow, this is right. This is reminding me of, again, Angel Notes, you know, the land of steel, right? Where, like, you know, the world being destroyed. Oh my god. Right. Data point 3. The equipment used in the lab on Chaldeus' Earth were antiques. The equipment used in the lab on Chaldeus' Earth were antiques. And all of the technology developed between 2019 and 2119 is no longer functional. Wait a minute. Okay, you know what? I think I'm heavily misunderstanding something. I'm thinking that, like I said, like, you know, what I'm thinking is that since it just swapped the surface, people are still in 2019, like, you know, but maybe not. Like, from what Shion is saying, I'm assuming like what is confusing me is that, like, you know, since our world from 2019 got swapped with their world, I'm thinking that the time is still the same. Like, from 2019 now, I don't know what year this is here currently in NA. I think 2023, probably, because 2 years, you know, like JP was 2 years ahead. JP is 2 years ahead, so this should be 2023 or something like that. So from 2019 to 2023 or 5, whatever it is, this amount of time that has gone currently here in Earth, is that equivalent to in Chaldeus? Like, is it 2119 now? Like, did 100 years already pass in that time? Like, because I don't know, I was thinking that, oh, it just got swapped and that's it, nothing else, you know. Like, yeah, Chaldeus is living in 2119, but that's just a number. That's just a number on their calendar. Just like how our world's number on the calendar is 2019, their number on calendar is 2119. So that doesn't necessarily mean the people who got swapped in, they lived that amount of time over there. That doesn't necessarily mean that. That is what I was thinking. But now that I'm reading Sion's points here, she's saying here The equipments used in the lab at Caldeus Earths were antiques, and all the technology developed between 2019 and 2119 is no longer functional. So, or no, wait. Maybe Sean is saying that before Caldeus's people got wiped out, the amount of time that passed there from 2019 to during that time, the technology developed as no longer functional. Maybe that's what she's saying. Okay, right. This can be assumed from the remnants of building. Oh yeah, she was talking about that. Okay, I kind of misunderstood that for a moment. Right. Okay, everything is on track now, I think. This can be assumed from the remnants of buildings still extant on the bleached Earth. Okay, so their humanity got wiped out. Our surface got swapped in for them, and from the remnants of the building that we are finding on our bleached Earth, it can be assumed that their technology between 2019 and 2119 are no longer functional. Okay. Any machinery that could operate on such a world would have to be at least 100 years old, yeah? Simple combustion engines like those used in motorcycles would also likely still function. So, those are the facts I was able to ascertain from test subject E. If we take those into consideration when asking why test subject E became a master, okay, why they summoned so many servants and why they spawned such a huge singularity, everything points to revenge. The Caldeus Earth was bleached, yeah. We may not know how it happened, but we can figure out why. Wait a minute. Caldeus Earth was bleached so its surface could be swapped out with our Earth's. Okay. Test subject E knew that. That's why they gave their servants those urges. Right. They wanted to take revenge on proper human history for destroying their world. Oh, so they're saying that Caldeus Earth was bleached just so its surface could... Which maniac thought of this? So they bleached Caldeus's Earth just so that they can swap it with our Earth and destroy our world? What? That is some crazy, like some psychopath thought of this. Like, what the hell? Okay, that is crazy. Like, this is like some weird roundabout way of just, like, you know, like, what the hell? Okay, right. Okay, Caldeus Earth was bleached so its surface could be swapped with our Earth's. Test subject E knew that. That's why they gave their servants so that they want to take revenge on proper human. So test subject E, you know, who became the master, became angry at proper human history because for destroying. Because I guess that's kind of correct in a roundabout way again. Like, because they wanted to swap it with us. Technically, you could say that it is our fault. Like I said, it's like a weird way of putting the blame on us. But you know, I can see that way of looking at it. Okay. Test subject E was aware that they were the last member of Caldeus's humankind. That made them the sole representative of all of Caldeus's human life, right? In fact, that's the only explanation for how they were able to summon that many servants. Otherwise, there's just no way one person can possibly summon so many. It must have been the collective will of every human who died on Caldeus that made summoning servants in such a number possible. That also explains why they had so many command spells. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. They must have been all the collected command spells from every human on Caldeus with master potential. Yeah. And that would mean that Corpse was a nameless regular person who found themselves responsible for the future of humankind, just like you, Fujimaru. Wait, what? The corpse was a nameless regular person who found themselves responsible for the future of humankind, just like you. Right. Okay. So, in a way, you could say you can compare Fujimaru, who's the last master of Earth here, to that person who was the last master of Caldeus's world there. Right. And yeah, that is test subject E, I'm assuming. Yeah, because that's what it says here. Yeah, there you go. So test subject E was like a counterpart to Fujimaru in their world. That would mean, what would that mean? If you are seeing this file, then you must have also acquired information on test subject E. While it should be your job to analyze it and determine what it is, I've decided to be generous and make things a little easier for you. Test subject E is not a terrestrial being. It is the remnants of a being humanity secreted away, probed and experimented upon in the facility over 100 years. I believe its cries of agony as it lay dying are what drew the foreign god, its compatriot here. Yeah. Wait, hold on, just a damn minute. Okay, wait a minute. So test subject E was also okay. Yeah, so test subject E was the final master over there. Again, if I'm saying anything incorrect, correct me if I'm wrong. Test subject E was the final master there. They were experimented upon for 100 years, and its cry for help attracted the foreign god. I do feel bad for what happened to Caldeus's Earth, but there was nothing we could have done about it. Yeah, I know, I was literally talking about that, but you know, we have nothing to feel actual guilt for there. More importantly though, I'd like to get the timeline straight. According to the report I read where Fujimaru first came to Chaldea in 2017, Caldeus was already at a point where the future of humankind could not be observed. Okay. So is that when Caldeus was first bleached? Okay. No, it wasn't. The light of the civilization had died out here and there because of singularity F. No, it wasn't. The light of civilization had died out here and there because of singularity F. But other than that, Caldeus' surface was the same as Earth's. Oh. Wait. It was Shiba that said it couldn't preserve human history or observe it beyond 2018. Okay. We can all vouch for that. And honestly, given what happened with the incineration of humanity and the bleached earth phenomenon, it makes sense that Shiba would come to that conclusion. When I came to Chaldea in 2017, yeah, so that was when Chaldea. No, it wasn't. The light of civilization died out there, and there was still the same. Okay, observe it beyond 2018, even with the incineration of humanity and the bleached earth. Okay. So Caldeus' Earth must have been bleached sometime after this incineration of humanity was resolved. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Though that would also mean Caldeus was deceiving us in 2019, back when we were undergoing special processing. Caldeus was deceiving us. So Caldeus was operating normally until the ray shift experiment in 2017. Okay, this is now getting confusing because it's been so long. I've like read like Singularity F or 2017 and all that. I don't remember a lot of the things, so that's why it's getting more complicated now. If I remembered those, I probably would have been able to understand this part a little better, but it's actually getting confusing now. Okay. Like, I don't understand this part. Why are they saying that? That means Caldeus was deceiving us in 2019, back when we was underground. After the incineration of humanity was resolved, okay, that's when it was bleached. Oh, so Sheba said it couldn't preserve human history or observe it beyond 28. So that was the deception. Caldas was operating normally until the race shift. Okay, so Caldas was operating normally until the race shift experiment in 2017. Or, I suppose it had yet to reveal its true villainous nature, which would mean it didn't foresee Solomon's incineration of humanity. In fact, if it hadn't been for that, this plan would probably have been put into action at the end of 2018. Oh, so it got delayed because of the whole Solomon's. Okay. Right. It's certainly safe to say Solomon will get your machinations threw off Marisbury's schedule. Yeah. So perhaps, if not for Singularity F, the surfaces of Caldeus and Earth would have been swapped places sooner. Right. Good point. The explosion in the command room definitely wasn't part of Director Marisbury's plan. So what happened afterwards is another part of what led to our present very strange circumstances. Something must have gone awry when Lev dropped Olga Mari into Caldeus. I see. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. That is all the information I can tell you about test subject E. Okay, I understand a lot of the things, but a few things are still kind of, yeah, but I think it's fine. I think the more we see what happens, the more we'll understand. Fortunately, this analysis has revealed at least 80% of Caldeus' intended purpose. We now know that it was always meant to swap its Earth, that is its human history, for ours. Yeah. And that it was the intention of Caldeus' creator, former director of Chaldean Marisbury Animisphere, that this happened. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, it was Marisbury. Yeah, from moment I was thinking, saying which like crazy person did this. Yeah, so, but then what wasn't his goal preservation of, oh, that's how he was going to preserve humanity. Okay, alright. Because technically it is preserved, humanity is over there in Caldeus now. Okay, alright. Oh boy. Of course, that leads us to the next problem we need to consider. Why would he do such a thing? Yeah, like I said, so preservation of humanity in this weird, twisted way, I guess. Yeah, what would he hope from gain from bleaching Earth? I completely agree. Neither I nor Trismegistus II were able to arrive at an answer to this query. Gaia wanted to create undying life and a planet without death. Christaria wanted to evolve all of humankind. Yeah. David said he wanted to destroy Caldeus to salvage humankind's reputation, even if it meant destroying Earth along with it. Yeah, that makes more sense now why David said that. If Marisbury is doing something like this, like maniacal, like what? Oh my god. I may not agree with their reasons for doing what they did, but I can still understand them. But bleaching all of Earth, that I cannot understand. I cannot see what the ultimate goal could be. Maybe he was just fed up with humanity and wanted to cleanse Earth by getting rid of it. That makes no sense. Humanity is over there. He didn't clean humanity. Humanity is still over there. So he technically just cleaned Earth. That's what he did. Or maybe that's what he wants to do. Wanted to do. He just, he probably didn't like Earth anymore. Oh, let's go to another planet. And I know that's probably not what it is, but yeah. Wait a minute. Maybe he just got fed up with humanity and wanted to cleanse Earth by getting rid of it. No, Marisbury wasn't that kind of person. He wasn't a nihilist or even a pessimist. He was a good mage who loved seeing humans prosper and who wanted to push our collective knowledge even further. Okay. I bet if he wasn't genuinely a good guy, King Solomon would never have answered. That is actually true. Yeah, Solomon did answer his, answered his summons during the Fuyuki Holy Grail War. So it is safe to say Marisbury was definitely a good mage. But what he did, what? Yeah, okay, so he bleached, like, so Caldeus got, like, died out, and he used that to swap in the surface here on our Earth and took our humanity over there. Right. And the whole experimentation of the last, of this subject E, then him, whoever that is, crying out and call, like foreign god, listening to that. Okay, if it's safe to, so it's safe to say Mansfield was definitely a good mage. The problem is there are quite a few shades of good, right? Whatever Mansfield's goal was, it must have been something extreme enough that we'd never think of it, like David's. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, we're talking about a clock tower lord here. There's no telling how much his vision of prospering might have differed from ours. Yeah, so right now all we've figured out is Caldeus' current condition and the fact that our Earth is safe. But we should find all the answers once we get to Antarctica. How much further, Nemo? Funny you should ask, we're actually just about to enter the Antarctic Circle now. I'm not seeing any obstructions. We should reach Caldean base in... Oh god, what now? Uh-oh, wall dead ahead. Full reverse, hard to port. All hands brace for impact. What just happened? Yeah. Shiva did not even warn us. I detect no hostile signal or gravity field. And yet we are still being repelled. What kind of air pressure could possibly keep the storm border away? Damn it, I should have known. It wouldn't be that simple. Yeah. Is it the foreign god? No. Is it Caldeus itself? What's going on, technical advisor? I don't know. There's nothing unusual going on in Antarctica at all. The barrier sprung up on its own. No, it didn't. Everyone, I think it was a wall. It is a wall of humanity. What? What does that mean? Wall of humanity? I recognize this defense. It's the same force that powers Sir Galahad's noble phantasm, Lord Camelot. Oh. It means the preservation of humanity itself is protecting the Antarctic. Oh. Wait, so now we are the bad guys coming into Turkey? That they need to preserve themselves? I've done a lap around the Antarctic and the wall surrounds the entire region. Oh my god. We can't get past it without with the storm border's dimension piercing drill or the shadow border zero sail. I don't know why, but all our attempts are being repelled. Nothing works. I've never seen a wall like this before. Because it's entirely formless, we have no way to break through. Every special navigational technique we try fails. I have no idea how this works or why it is doing this. Unbelievable. Our destination is right in front of us and we can't even get near it. Technical advisor, Eltnam, isn't there anything we can do? Surely you'd have at least analyzed it by now, right? I'm sorry, but I completely am bewildered. Too. What is this? Some kind of prank? Right, the thing pops up whenever we approach, then disappears when we move away. Wow. It's completely denying us any way to get through, but it's also barely damaging the ship at all. I can't even figure out what's powering it. I prefer the storm walls. So if it's just like Lord Camelot, then maybe Marsh can go in? I don't know. Of course this was going to happen. Now that the 7 lost bells are gone, Caldeus has become the foundation of human history, the celestial sphere for the preservation of humanity. Who's this? That wall isn't meant to keep Caldeus safe. It is a checkpoint intended to keep foreign elements out. Right. Yeah, it makes sense. Because, all of humanity is over there. The Antarctic is not what is keeping you out. Proper human history itself is rejecting you. That voice. It's coming up from the deck. Is this the mysterious hooded person, who looks like Romani? That's Romani Ackerman. Marine, try to record what he's saying. Roger, point the camera his way now. This is the domain of proper human history. None of you can enter it as you are now. I'll admit, even I didn't foresee this outcome. Over the course of this war, you've handled far too many things that simply do not exist in proper human history. Rulers, alter egos, avengers, all manner of servants that don't belong to the 7 classes. Oh my god, I can see where. Okay, so this is where Ordeal Call. Okay, because in Ordeal Call, each of them deals with a certain extra class. Now, after you have spent so much time abusing these classes which should not exist, proper human history regards you as foreign element. What? Okay. Right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, we were technically bringing in foreigners from like some elder gods and stuff we were bringing in to fight. We're literally using as you know, like anything, like oh boy. Until you correct this imbalance, you'll never be able to set foot near Chaldeus. You cannot take those things. No, that's not right. You cannot take those servants with you into the time beyond 2019, not with a current understanding. Right. Fujimaru, the gears within you no longer mesh. Why do these classes exist when, by rights, they shouldn't? Yeah, what place do these weapons have in human history? Once you understand and accept the answers to those questions, you will be foreign elements no longer. I see. So, okay, interesting. Because we don't understand their foreign elements, when we'll understand them, they will be not. Turn your ship around, Novum Chaldea. There are places where you can correct the imbalances and atone for the sins you unknowingly committed. That is the duty you must fulfill now, your ordeal call. Yo, this name drop, title dropped. Once you have settled 4, no 3 imbalances, then the celestial sphere will see the light of the day. Why did he say 4 at the beginning? Okay. Then celestial sphere will see the light of the day. You are sure to face partings as you walk this path. Be certain you are prepared for this. Oh my god. So wait, where are we supposed to go now? Trismegistus 2 has arrived to a conclusion. It seems like the mysterious figure was telling the truth. The barrier around Antarctica is kind of a self-purification mechanism, and we are the reason it is being created. As much as it pains me to say this, it seems that humanity currently sees us as criminals. After all of that we did, apparently we ourselves are the ones preventing us from setting foot in the pure land of Antarctica. I knew it. This wasn't an attack, it was an alarm. Extra classes aren't meant for humans to handle. Extra classes are typically too much for humans to handle, and given all the servants from extra classes we've been using, of course humanity would reject us. I guess we've done the equivalent of using weapons banned by international law, like they were going out of style. Right. We can't deny we are guilty as sorry, probably wasn't the best example I could have picked. Wait, what was he going to say? I guess we've done some international law. Right, I don't know. Okay, no, whatever. It's okay, Minur, I understand. Thank you. Still, facts are facts. If Chaldeus was made with ill intentions, even secretly, then of course someone will have to be held to account for the demi-servant experiments. Yeah? I accept that, and I will let my own deeds demonstrate the righteousness or wrongness of my creation. Even if creating me was wrong. Oh, shoot. Oh, Minera's talking about her. Okay, Marsh, I guess. I think. That's why Marsh is like, oh, it's fine. Even if creating me was wrong, there are still so many futures for us to choose from. Fortunately, I was lucky enough to receive the power to protect. Whatever you have to say about me, I'm certain this power isn't wrong, isn't evil. That is, you know, like, Shielder is actually also another class that doesn't fall in the 7 classes. Now that I think about it, I always like, it never really occurs in our head, I feel like. But Shielder is also a different class, so, you know. And it's interesting how, even after so many years, there's literally one character in Shielder class. They have actually kept that consistent. You know, that's pretty damn impressive. Like, yeah. So you knew all along, huh, Mash? Well said, Kiryalite. But should anyone ever learn of this incident, it's clear you will all face serious consequences. Is there anything I can do for them? Anything to ensure that these fools will be rewarded instead of punished? It's true, Director Marisbury's Caldia was evil. Damn. But it's equally true that what came from it was undeniably good. The accident that happened during the 2017 ray shift experiment, along with everything that came afterwards, put an end to Director Marisbury's Caldia forever. Not just physically, but in spirit too. The only remaining staff were a dozen or so employees, all unaware of Director Marisbury's intentions, and Romani Arkaman, who felt a strong responsibility to stop the incineration of humanity. And that meant Caldia became an entirely different organization than its founder intended. That is true. Yeah. It became a place to preserve not one man's vision for the future, but a future imagined by different people. And that's never going to change. Not now, not ever. If there's something wrong with us, we'll just fix it with the same courage and wisdom that's brought us this far. That man said we have an imbalance, right? Then there must be points in time affected by this discrepancy, some distortions similar to singularities. So we're going to find them, prove our innocence, and then come back to the Antarctic. Hard to starboard, huh? As a captain, I have no objections. Besides, I was just thinking we could stand to go back to some of the places we saw standing buildings and resupply. Very well, as I said earlier, I never expected this to be quite so simple. Do as you see fit, I can stick around a little longer. Speaking as an alchemist from the Atlas Institute, it hurts to hear that we are being treated like criminals because we have been relying on certain kind of weapons. This would mean a third of the situation is my fault, correct? So, I of course have no objections either. Trismegistus 2 and I will continue to help you all in our expedition. Well, it looks like our goalposts have been moved a little further back than we were expecting. How are you feeling about all this, Fujimaru? Of course, I want to keep going. Alright, then let's start exploring the world. We can think of this as getting all our ducks in a row before our showdown with Caldias. In fact, everything has worked out as desired, including the opportunity to resupply. That being said, we still have no idea what we'll find out there. We'll have to deal with the imbalances we've racked up over the courses of our battles to date, and we'll have to face scrutiny of our mistakes from humanity itself. I hate to borrow that guy's wording, but I can't deny it's a name fitting for this mission, Operation Ordeal Call, as it is. Once we overcome these new trials, we'll reach our final destination, that is Antarctica. Okay. Right, so this is where Ordeal Call comes into play. Oh. Okay.
カルデアスは人類史の人類保障研究となった。ノーム・カルデアは反人類史にはないものを扱いすぎたせいで、そこから弾かれている。この歪みを補正しない限り、カルデアス
And these are the four order. Okay.
自らの潔白を証明する。かつてない未知の探索であるのは間違いない。これまでの戦いで積み上がったとされる歪み、我々が向き合わなくてはならない人類の咎。本来ならありえないクラスとの開口、ルーダー、アベンジャー、アルターエゴ、果たすべき生産。
Yep, that's Bhima, right?
一つ、秩序を担う最低者。うつろな罪を自覚する人類。
That's Cagliostro, I think that was his name.
一つ、永劫の復讐者。すべてを焼き尽くす恩衆の炎。
And this is, we don't know who this is. We'll get to know later.
自我から分かたれし別人格。己の内側に相対する。
Right.
作戦名、オーディールコール。この試練を乗り越えた先が我々の執着だ。
Okay, so now I understand. I think when
なに、私たちに問題があるなら今まで通り知恵と勇気で解決するだけさ。
2025. Okay. Yeah, so I think when this came out, when Ordeal Call came out, I was like, okay, what is this about? So yeah, now it makes way more sense. Like, so to reach the final part of the story, we have to take care of these four or these three. Okay, so that's it. Yes, and that was Ordeal Call Prologue. Okay, so yeah, that was it for the Ordeal Call Prologue. Now there's a lot of things that we got to know here. First and foremost, what is Chaldeas, what happened over there, like how, like there, and this also kind of explains the mystery about Trom's master, like why he, like the master was able to summon this many servants, why they did that. They wanted revenge, as they said, because apparently Chaldeas was bleached, because the eventual goal was to swap Chaldeas' surface with our world and take our world's surface to their world, and I guess that is in their way of preservation of humanity or something like that. So yeah, and that is why this master. Now here's another thing. Am I correct in assuming, because this part kind of confuses me a little bit, am I correct in assuming that the last master of Chaldeas, as we see, is test subject E? I'm guessing, or am I making some kind of big mistake here? You know what, I think I might be making a big mistake here, or maybe not, I don't know, this is kind of confusing me again. But obviously one thing they kind of said here pretty clearly is that the cry for help for test subject E was the thing that brought in the foreign god. So that's that. But I might be making a mistake here, so correct me if I'm wrong. Test subject E is the master who summoned the whole situation in Trom that happened. That was test subject E, right? The master. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. Anyways, so yeah, that's what happened over there. So that whole big reveal about Chaldeas being the world that was actually bleached, not our world, and just got swapped. That part was that was a crazy reveal, and then obviously us being blocked entry, because now the preservation of humanity is acting over there in Antarctica, and since all the lost spells have been taken out, Chaldeas has become the final seat of preservation of humanity. So that's why, unless and until we ourselves change change a few mistakes that we have done, or I guess do something about it, or understand what these other classes are, they won't let us in. So we have to go back and kind of solve a few discrepancies, I guess, understand these different classes in a better way, like Avengers, Rulers, Alter Ego, Moon Cancer and all of these, other foreigners, understand them, and then we will have to come back here again, and after greater understanding, they will let us in. Something like that. Right. And yeah, so that is where the ordeal call starts. So the first ordeal call is obviously, we know it is I forgot its name, but it's the whole where Bhima will be introduced. That is ordeal call 1. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's coming in May or June, sometimes like that. Yeah, that is wait a minute, that ordeal call is for alter egos, right? I think so. Yeah, the second ordeal call was for Avengers. The first one was for alter egos, second one was for Avengers, and then we had that one, that BB's one. I don't know if that is ordeal call 3 or it is something else completely, but whatever that was for Moon Cancers, I think. And next we will have foreigners, I am assuming, which we will be having in JP later this year, I think. So yeah, okay, anyways, right, so that is it. That was the end of Lost Spell 7 and the beginning of Ordeal Call, the prologue. Yeah, so again, I've understood most of the things. Maybe there's a few things that I still am not clear about, but as I keep playing, I'll probably remember. There's a lot of things that I actually became a bit confused, especially when they were talking about 2017 and all that, because oh boy, that was so long ago, and I didn't even do YouTube back then. I was very new to FGO. I wasn't even that like that. I didn't know that much about Fate in itself. I just played the visual novel, and I think I watched the anime, and then I started FGO. So I think I played Holotaraxia as well. Like a few other things they did. Now the amount of understanding that I have of the Type Moon franchise is way more than I ever had back then. So I feel like a lot of the things that happened in Singularity F and everything, first and foremost, I forgot about it. Second, I just probably couldn't understand it in a way that I would have understood it now. So that is why when they were recalling like those sections, a few of the sections that we're talking about, like the ray shift incident, that whole section 2017 and all that, and when they were talking about how Caldius was like deceiving us, that part that's the only part that I'm a little bit confused about, because that whole Caldius deceiving us section I cannot really understand, because it is kind of connected to what happened back then. And since I don't remember properly what happened back then in 2017 when FGO started, what we did, like obviously I read all of that sections, but it was way back then. So that is why I think that whole Caldius deceiving us part is not really registering in my head. I'm not able to understand what they're trying to say by that. Everything other than that, I think I understand. Anyways, if there's any kind of clarification you have to make, maybe something I misunderstood, you can let me know in the comments. But yeah, no spoilers about the ordeal calls. Anything other than that, spoiler free, you can let me know in the comments, and maybe it'll help me understand a few things that I couldn't. But yeah, but I think like 90% I was able to understand properly. This is crazy, like the whole surface swapping was just, I wasn't expecting that, like really. Like a lot of things I thought like maybe this happened, maybe that happened, like surface swapping. Okay, no man, where did they come up with this? Okay, that is it guys. Thanks for watching. This was my game read along gameplay for Ordeal Call the Prologue. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, I'll check them out. And that is it, and yes, I'll end it here. Obviously, like the Valentine's event has begun and I will be doing the videos for that probably from tomorrow. Yeah, from tomorrow those videos will come out. So yeah, I'll see you guys in those videos again. So yeah, until then, goodbye and have a nice day.